The story I'm going to read to you today is called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon. This story is written by Patty Lovell and it's illustrated by David Catrow. And we are going to be talking about character traits when we're all finished reading this today. Mainly character traits of Molly Lou Melon, the girl in the story here. So when I'm reading today, just kind of think about how you would describe her. What kinds of words would you use to tell me about Molly? As we're reading, you can be thinking about that, okay? All right, so Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon is the name of this story. Okay. Molly Lou Melon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proud as you can and the world will look up to you." So right there, I can already tell something about her just from this page. She was the shortest girl in the first grade. And so she did. These are some fun pages. She's kind of a silly girl. Molly Lou Melon had buck teeth that stuck out as far as she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big and the world will smile right alongside you." So she did. That's a silly picture. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." And so she did. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself and the world will believe in you." Fumble-fingered. That means she's dropping things a lot. And so she did. Silly pictures again. Then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. And she had to start in a new school. There she is, getting on the bus. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. And when the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All of the children thought, "Wow, she's good." And Ronald Durkin, he felt very foolish. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky-Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin, he felt very foolish. Wasn't nice of him to call her a name. Not nice at all. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck." "Honk, honk." Molly Lou Melon sang out a quack, so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin again felt very foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said she'd made the snowflake all wrong, but Molly Lou Melon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and awed, even Ronald. This reminds me of when we made snowflakes at school. We kind of did the same thing. Ours were not nearly as big as hers, but we made some snowflakes around Christmas time. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Melon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. Well, that's the first time he's being nice to her. That night, Molly Lou Melon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Melon. Okay, so now that we're finished reading Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon, what we're going to do now is just talk about the character traits of Molly Lou Melon. So I have here a little chart that you're going to help me kind of fill out. And Molly Lou Melon is right here in the center. And then on this side, it says on the outside. So we're going to write down some things here about what she looks like on the outside. On this side of the chart, it says on the inside. So you're going to help me with what kinds of things would you say about her that are feelings and things that she's like on the inside. Okay? All right, so let's start with on the outside. Can you tell me something about her that you remember from the story? Yes, she has those buck teeth. So we're going to write buck teeth. Okay. What's something else about her that you can remember about what she looks like? Yeah, blue eyes. She has blue eyes. And something else. Black hair. I see her black hair right there. And anything else that you can think of? Yeah, she is short. Remember they said that right at the beginning of the story. Okay, so we've got 4 things over there. Let's see what we can think about on the inside. So for this, I'm going to give you some cards. We have these character cards that we normally would use in the classroom, so I brought them home today. And I'm just going to hold one of them up, and you can tell me if you think this would go with her. Do you think she's a happy girl? Yeah, I think so. Even though, in the story, people were, Ronald was making fun of her sometimes, but she still stayed very happy. So I'm going to write down happy on our chart. Okay, so on the inside, she is happy. All right, what about funny? Would that character trait describe her? Yeah, she's definitely funny. She's got a really fun sense of humor, and she doesn't let anything get her down. All right, so now we've got happy and funny on the inside. Okay. What about clever? Have you ever heard of the word clever? Someone who understands things quickly or can, do things or say things quickly and think on their feet. She is pretty clever. She definitely reacted to Ronald in a way that showed that she was clever in her thinking. All right, so we've got clever. All right, what about the word brave? Someone who does things others are afraid to do. She was really brave, I think. In this story, there was times when she could have gotten sad and gotten kind of down because that Ronald was kind of making fun of her. But she was pretty brave in this story. She stood up for herself and, she was not ashamed of who she was. And I think that shows a lot of bravery. And then the last word I wanted to show was kind. Do you think she's kind? I think she's a pretty kind girl. She's somebody who I think would be a really fun friend to hang out with. She seemed to be just nice to all of the boys and girls at that new school. And I think kind is a good word to describe her on the inside. So these were our words that we came up with for the inside of Molly Lou Melon. And these were the kind of describing words that we came up with for how she looks on the outside. Okay, she was our main character in the story. She was the character that the whole story was about, so we call that the main character. Okay, all right, well, you guys did a great job today. You can talk about this story to somebody at home, see if you can retell it at home and talk about some of the things that you learned about Molly Lou Melon when we were reading the story. Okay, all right, we'll see you later.